Wheat bran versus wheat mids. Which one is better? Let's talk through, because I've been using both for the last few months just to see how it went. And we'll walk through what wheat mids are, what wheat bran is, and the pros and cons. And then you can figure out which one works best for you. So let's start very, very simple. What is wheat bran? What is wheat mids? First, we need to talk about what is wheat to figure out an answer to this. So here's a breakdown of the kernel of wheat. And what we want to pay attention to here is this outer part here. That's the bran. And then you've got the inside and the sperm and the germ. Okay. Wheat bran is literally this outside part, and that's it. Wheat mids, often called middlings, are going to include all parts of this. Okay. So it's all kind of mixed in together instead of just being this outer part, the bran. Now that we've got that down, let's take a look at wheat mids and wheat bran next to each other. So we've got bran on the left, mids on the right. And just visually, you can tell this is a little bit more floury-like. It's a finer particulate, right? So when we grab this wheat bran, it's flaky, it's light, it's not compacted. It's sort of dusty, but not super dusty. It does contain some smaller particles, but overall, real light, real airy. We come over to the mids. It's a much more dense, flour-like, but it still has, you can see in there, some of the bran. Hasn't been all the way ground down. It's still sort of loose. It can compact down, but it's not too bad. But this is a lot heavier, you could say, especially from the perspective of using this for mealworms. So I've been using mids and bran in the farm here, both mixed together in trays and separate in trays. And what I'm finding is that from a growth perspective, no difference. The mealworms are growing very similar. One's not better than the other. And so from a mealworm growth perspective, I haven't noticed a massive difference. If there is a difference, it's very negligible, and you'd have to get really, really minute and down into the details to figure out which one is better for the mealworms. From a cost perspective, just pure buying it, the wheat mids are cheaper. The wheat bran is maybe 5 or 10 cents more expensive for me. Your mileage is going to vary there because just wheat bran alone, what I've heard from folks is prices vary quite a bit based on where you're located, right? So if cost is a factor, don't use my costs. Wheat mids are cheaper for me than wheat bran, but kind of ask around where you're at to see what costs are for you. But price isn't the only cost here. What I've found is that wheat mids, even though they're cheaper, I'm not going to use them. I'm not going to continue to use them. We are winding down the mids that we have, and I am buying strictly wheat bran moving forward. And here's why. This is a tray of larvae that have been fed wheat mids. And what you can see here, the stuff on top, that's not the bran. That is stuff that they are refusing to eat and will not eat. So this tray here is nothing right now but frass and this chaff, all this leftover stuff. And they're not eating it. And what happens is when I go to process this tray and sift it, when I sift it and separate out the frass from the larva, this chaff gunks up my sifting screens. And it causes things to slow down immensely. So from a labor and time perspective, mids are actually costing me much more because I have to clean out that sifter. I have to stop more frequently because the mealworms aren't eating that stuff. And I've let a tray go for about a month without anything else, and they will not eat that stuff. And so for that reason, I'm switching back to wheat bran because they'll eat all the bran. They'll eat it all gone. No issues, no sifting issues, and it goes much faster when we go through the sifting process. The other thing to keep in mind is if you're using mids, they're far more dense than the bran. And so what they'll do is they'll hold moisture more than the wheat bran will. And things that hold moisture have the potential to mold easier. So you just need to be mindful of, if you're going to try mids, be careful with how much moisture you add into it. Mids and oats seem very similar to me, where like if you take flat oats and use those to raise your mealworms, what you'll find is that you are much more prone to mold with those oats than you are with wheat bran. Mids are very similar. Doesn't seem as bad as the oats, those flat outs, but just something to consider. The other thing to think about is availability of this. So I can get both wheat mids and wheat bran. If all you can get is wheat mids, then that becomes the better option for you, right? So the overall nutrition profile of this stuff works for mealworms. So whether you're feeding wheat bran or wheat mids, they're going to eat it, they're going to enjoy it, they're going to grow and thrive. Okay. From a processing and operational perspective, it's going to take you more time to have to sift through things when you're using wheat mids. If you have any questions on wheat bran versus wheat mids, go ahead and throw those in the comments. Happy to help. If there's anything else you'd like to know, I'll be here.